YouTube is trying to force their narrow ideas. It's so true. And Pakadu? Is that Pakadu?
Pakadu.
Pakadu. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that's great. Yeah, we really appreciate everything with you guys. So how many people are on here right now? 1,800. So cool. All
right, you guys. So let's go over. We went over YouTube. We went over stuff going on with Jordan. You know, hopefully you guys can see through the lies on this one. They're, you know, sometimes the loudest people on YouTube that are saying the worst things. Like, really, think about it for a second, right? There's no reason. Like, if we're trying to figure out the truth, that's one thing. That's great. Like, we should. With anything, right? But when you start attacking people or saying nasty things about them and all of this stuff, it doesn't help anyone. And when there are people doing that and they're really loud about it, you have to kind of question it for a second, right?
Well, yeah, especially if they're calling out everybody.
Or whatever, right?
It's like everybody. Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
So, I mean, that's been happening to you and I recently, right? You know, Ben and I have published a bunch of shows. You know, we've been exposing the Chinese Communist Party. We've been exposing persecutions that are going on in China. And then people started saying some really, really super hateful stuff about us like, in different platforms, which was really shocking for us because you just wouldn't think people would really stoop that low, really, right? Because you're talking about people that are like having their organs harvested and all of these kinds of things, right? But you know, basically.
But I mean, aside from that, I mean, people are saying that Falun Gong is funding us, and that's absolutely not true
at all.
It's like
it's literally a meditation practice, and they don't even take money from their
there's no money involved.
Practitioners.
Yeah. So we just want to get that out there because we were hearing about all kinds of things that were related to this, and it's like no, we're not being funded by any religion.
And we've just been tried to be completely transparent with you guys about everything since the beginning, and anyone who's watching our live shows would know that, right? So, you know, where we came from, the media that we used to work with, you guys all know. We used to work for the Epoch Times, and actually we even have an About Us up on edgeofwonder.tv, and you guys can go check that out anytime you want. And I mean, we are what we are. If you like our content, we're happy to have you here, and we understand if you don't, and that's okay. But
I think the really key point is that we are completely honest when we say we are financially independent, completely.
Yeah, it's because you guys that we're able to even do this. You know,
I mean,
you're on.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be so worried about YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, we like you guys are literally have been the driving force behind all of this. I mean, again, we really just, you know, and everyone's like, well, why'd you get so popular? Because we really...
We used our collective skills to try to bring a channel to the forefront, and it was you guys that made this happen.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you guys spreading the ones.
Yeah, you guys spreading our content. We were just as amazed as you. We had no idea this was going to happen.
I mean, literally, we had
Ben and I were like, maybe we'll get 100,000 followers in a year if we're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, literally, it was Rob and I like sending out messages to our own fans, not fans, but our own friends on Facebook. You know, we had like 100 people like the first month. That was about it. You know,
it took forever.
It took forever. So I mean, we would just answer every single comment that came in because we realized like
you guys are you're everything, right?
Yeah. And then someone said the Nerf guns did it, and Julia said that.
Yeah, you know what? The Nerf guns might have done it.
Yeah, maybe.
Actually,
I don't want to hit that because I'm afraid. Dude, both of ours didn't work. That's so weird.
You know, these Nerf guns aren't always the best.
That's cool.
Did it again, man.
Did it again, but anyway. Oh, there you go.
Wow.
Mine
that was
pretty
cooked. There we go.
But you know, I mean, so it's like, you know, and so.
Anyway, you guys, look, if you resonate with our message and you like what we're doing, we're just trying to do this work for you guys. We're literally just a central hub that tries to put all of this information together, and we understand like some of the stuff. If you just come onto our channel and you look at some of our stuff and you're just like a normie out there or an average Joe, you're gonna be like, what the heck is wrong with these guys? They're talking about spirits, like all this stuff. Totally get that. Like I can totally see how someone like that would be weird, but when it's someone in our community that's like attacking or something like that, that's when it just gets, confusing. But at the same time, like, hey, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. So that's all there is to it.
And
we're not doing this for them. We're trying to get this information out there.
Yeah. I mean, we really are. I mean, and this is like, you know, because of the censorship and because everything is going on right now. I mean, this has really been challenging, I think, for everybody who's involved in this field, trying to really tell the truth. It's hard because, you know, you start touching on things that you just dive deep down into. And
again, if you don't believe the conclusion that we came to, we're the first ones to say, hey, show us your information and like do your own research, because the last thing we want is for you guys to idolize anyone, especially us. We want you guys to be the ones that are coming to these conclusions on your own. All we're trying to do is show you stuff that we found that we're having a hard time putting together too. And I think it's really important that people don't take themselves that seriously, whether it's journalists or even people in this community. Like there's no, it's not like any one person has the whole truth of the situation. Right? And what we're trying to do is open our platform to have conversations, but that doesn't mean like we completely agree with everything those people are saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like the main point that we really say is, you know, like what I was saying earlier, like really dive deep. Like we really want to expose the really like once you get in there, there's some really dark things like the child trafficking stuff and the pedophilia that's like rampant in society and everything, you know. And it's like this is the stuff that we really want to get to.
We have to.
And you know, some of the people that we have on the show they're just willing to talk about this stuff. Some other people aren't, and it's kind of like, you know, why? And it makes us wonder, like, why, you know, are these people okay to talk about it, but this person over here isn't? So what's kind of going on, you know? And it's just, you know, and that's kind of when you start stirring the pot a little bit.
I mean, right. And actually anyway, so when all of this kind of started going down, right, Ben and I kind of watched some of these videos and we were kind of shocked with what people were saying. And I noticed these like looks on people's faces that were like really confusing me. It was almost like there was some kind of like glare that they were giving or something. And I was actually like...
Yeah, me too.
And I was like a little freaked out by it actually. And so I started, you know, some different people were talking to me, some of our fans. I ended up going down this rabbit hole that was really interesting that I'm going to share with you guys. So would you mind putting up slide 1?
Yeah, and as you're doing that, Derek, you know, the other thing too is like, you know, we are in some talks with like actually having Edge of Wonder as a TV show, like on TV. So, I mean, this is something that we've wanted to do from day one, like because, you know, we don't know what's going to happen with YouTube. So, you know, that's great if this actually happens. So, and you know, again, like we control all of our own content. We have, you know, it's Rob and I saying like what we want to produce, who we want on the show, what we're doing, you know, and it's just like this is like our thing. We've built this and we're moving forward with it. So hopefully, you know.
Well, and you guys have a voice in this too. So let us know what you think.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so you ready? So you guys, all right, so check out this first slide. So I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this, but there is this thing called Sanpaku eyes, which actually, I'll read this. So Sanpaku gan, or Sanpaku, is a Japanese term referring to a condition of the eyes where both the left, right, and bottom or top of the eyes are showing. English-speaking countries use the term Sanpaku eyes to describe this. Now, go to slide 2 for me. Okay, so here's what's interesting. There was a book that was actually written called You Are All Sanpaku by a guy named Sakurazawa Niyoti. I think that's how you pronounce it. And the English version was done by a guy named William Dufty. Okay, I'm going to read this quote because this is really interesting. For thousands of years, people of the Far East have been looking into each other's eyes for signs of this dreaded condition. Any sign of Sanpaku meant that a man's entire system, physiological, and spiritual, was out of balance. He had committed sins against the order of the universe and was therefore sick, unhappy, insane, what the West has come to call accident-prone. The condition of Sanpaku is a warning, a sign from nature that one's life is threatened by an early and tragic end. Now, you can see the eyes above that quote in this slide, and what freaked me out is the same look on some of these people that were like, they had like shows about us they had the same look on their face, right? Yeah. It was like actually really freaking me out. And the fact that I found this, and so I was like I was kind of like I said, like worked up a little bit when I started seeing these eyes.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you were looking at all these different photos, and it was like seriously giving me
a headache. Yeah.
Like,
which, by the way, guys, we're gonna
I couldn't like.
We're gonna go into some more of these photos, so we apologize. Like, it's not very dark at all, but it's gonna show some. We're gonna kind of go through some people that didn't do very nice things and show you and prove that this is actually could be a thing, right? Okay, so the next slide, please. So I'm going to go through the different kind of stages here. Excuse me, my mic of Sanpaku. This wasn't, I believe, I couldn't find the origin of this infographic, but I'm almost positive that it was in the book. You Are All Sanpaku. But I'm not positive. If someone knows where this originally came from, I would love to cite it. So just let me know. I did look for a while, but I couldn't find it. So again, Sanpaku means 3 whites show, basically, in your eyes. So the first one is if you see someone who kind of looks like this, right? And of course, it's not everyone, right? We want to say that first of all, is like not everyone who has like this particular disposition, you can say, oh, he's a bad person or something like that. No, right? You don't want to do that. But it could be something that you find, and then you might find later on that this person could have some condition or something like that. You don't know. So anyway, I just thought this was interesting. I mean, this is an ancient, an ancient thing. So okay, so the first one is stress in life somewhere. Depth and peripheral vision is off, and they're accident prone. Okay, now we're kind of getting more serious with this condition as it goes. So the second one is a lot of pressure. Be aware of the situation. These eyes want to unload. Okay, number 3. Be very cautious. Extreme pressure. These eyes are hiding something. 4, don't walk, run away. These eyes have psychotic tendencies. And 5, these are the eyes of a psychopathic killer. These eyes want to gain power over you. Now, what I found, and this is really interesting, is that people that are like hypnotists and stuff like that, they actually have to try to figure out whether or not someone is psychotic before they hypnotize them. Mm-hmm. Because if the person is psychotic and they hypnotize them, it could actually be extremely dangerous or violent. So I'm not saying that this is a method that they use, but like I did find that interesting that like not only could there be physical evidence of like they have to like look at them and engage them and stuff like that, right? Okay, so on to the next slide, please. Okay, so